Swamin Namaste Natalokabandho Karunya Sindho Patitam Bhavabdho Mamuddharatmiya Kataksha Drishtya Rijvyati Karunya Sudhabhivristya Swamin Namaste, Swamin Namaste, Swamin Namaste, Swamin Namaste. Jnanasvarupam Nijabhavayuktam Anandamanandakaram Prasannam Yogindramidhyam Bhavarogavadyam Srimadgurum Nityamaham Namami Srimadgurum Nityamaham Namami Nityaya Satyaya Chidatmakaya Navyaya Bhavyaya Paratparaya Shuddhaya Buddhaya Niranjanaya Namostu Nityam Guru Shekharaya Namostu Nityam Guru Shekharaya Namostu Nityam Guru Shekharaya. Jai Guru, Jai Guru, Jai Guru. Yes, it is quite surprising that today is just 2 years after we started the Global Satsangs online, 20th October, and this happens to be the 100th one. So, very strange coincidence. Then, where do we stand now? Where did we stop last time? I think I was been discussing that we should not get attached to family and relatives and the possessions. I've been discussing and sharing with you what asaktihi and abhishvangaha, anabhishvangaha, all these mean as told by Krishna in Bhagavad Gita. And what Krishna has been saying, I've been taking partly from Bhagavad Gita and how the same Krishna has explained in detail in Srimad Bhagavatam what a householder should do, a householder who feels bound remaining in the family, what he should do so that he feels free and liberated even though he is in the house. So, to Uddhava, Krishna is saying, Kutumbeshu na sajjeta. Don't get attached to your family and your possessions. And all these come because of the I-ness and mine-ness. First we mistakenly think that I am this body, mind and intelligence, and then we start thinking that all that is belonging to me and I possess are mine. And I ended last session with a very beautiful but very strong verse, strong sloka, where it is being said that, O man, do not get attached, do not cling delusionally to your wife, house, children, because all of them, they are nothing essentially but the bones, flesh and blood. So, you should renounce your abhimati, that is your attachment, your fondness, your strong clinging to these people. And you also should take away and cut severely, mercilessly cut the bond that you feel with them. Mamatam vimuncha. And the sloka, in this sloka, we are being told that look at this world. Everything is transitory, everything is fleeting, nothing remains the same. So, Pashyanisham jagadidam kshanabhanga nishtam. Now, the nishtha, the focus, the attraction is towards what? Towards the world. But this world is fleeting. Even though we want to possess whatever we want to possess, after some time it doesn't stay back. So it says that keep looking at the transitoriness of this world and all that consists as world. And also your nishtha being to the world, now having removed all these clingings from the mind, you grow there, Vairagya. Vairagya raga rasikaha, bhava bhakti nishtaha. Let your focus be your aspiration, your fondness, your passion. It should be towards bhakti. Bhakti for what? Bhakti for dispassion. Bhakti for God. Bhakti for not being attached to the perishables. Everything in this world is perishable. So, let not your nishtha, your focus be on these perishables, but you grow in Vairagya, and so that you can grow in bhakti, and you should be seeking the imperishable. So this I had discussed with you, and actually I was discussing these shlokas from the 11th skandha, where Uddhava is being told by Krishna that you should be staying in the house as if you are a visitor. You should stay in the house and look at everybody, your near and dear ones, as if you have met them, as we meet travelers while going by the train or bus, or we have gone to a new place, we meet some people and then we go our own way after some time. So, all these relationships are only short-lived, transitory. Everybody will have to go. Who goes first, we do not know. Also he said that just like in the dream we have a dream family, but when we get up from dream, we do not feel sad or sorrowful, or we do not go after those dream family. Similarly, here in the wakeful hours, think that this family is also so, and don't get attached. In the dream family, we do not get attached with the dream members of the family. Similarly, in this family, don't get attached. It is as simple as that, our scriptures are saying. But we find that it is very difficult. Though we read them again and again, again and again, we understand them. We feel that it is very easy, but it becomes difficult. It becomes difficult because we miss the instructions given by the scriptures. Here the instructions given by Krishna. It is not enough that we read one or two slokas and we get a knowledge. Oh, acha, it has to be done by this method. What are those methods? Are we sincerely doing them? Sincerely performing them? Sincerely following them? Those are the introspections that we should do. And I've been constantly telling that we must do introspection. Vichara. Our mind should be decorated with Vairagya and Viveka. Viveka and Vairagya. My dear children, nothing is disjointed. In Vedanta we have read Sadhana Chatushtayam, where right in the beginning it is Nitya Nitya Vastu Vivekaha, that is Vichara. And Ihamutra Phala Bhoga Viragaha, that is Vairagya. So here also when we start going in more detail and we are reading the devotional text like Srimad Bhagavatam, it's not that we'll have to leave Vairagya and Viveka there in Vedanta. That also we are pursuing, and its effect has to be there when we are reading these also. That is why it says, Vairagya Raga Rasikaha Bhava Bhakti Nishtaha. What is this bhakti actually? Bhakti, we feel an intense devotion for the all-pervading supreme power, or God, or Brahman, intense devotion. In Vedanta it says, Swaswarupānusandhānam bhaktiritya-abhidhīyate. That is the focus. Whether it is for God, it is the focus. Wholesome, one-pointed, focused love or fondness, where we know that this is the supreme. Similarly, in Vedanta it is Swaswarupānusandhānam. What is my Swarupa, my real identity? Searching for that, looking for that, seeking that becomes the focus. Intense focus, intense aspiration, intense yearning. That intensity, that is bhakti. Whether we are talking about God or whether we are talking about Brahman, for anything, that intense fondness or intense focused pursuit, that is bhakti. So, Vairagya Raga Rasiko Bhava Bhakti Nishtaha. You have to become Bhakti Nishtaha. And Vairagya must develop. So, we were reading the last sloka was Karma Bhir Grihamedhiyaihi Ishtva Mameva Bhaktiman Tishtedvanam Vyopavishet Prajavan Va Paribrajet. It says that a householder devotee should worship me. And how he should worship? He has a lot of things to do. Whole day he will not be sitting in front of an idol or a picture or sitting alone, meditate upon me. He has a lot of things to do. So many responsibilities are there, so many duties are to be performed. Children that have to be looked after. Parents, old parents may be there. One has to go for job, earning money. So, the worship is by performing all the household work, considering all those as an offering to me. As an offering to me. Grihamedhaihi karmabhihi mameva ishtva. Through the work that we are doing in the house, whatever work we are doing, house or office, related to the life of a householder, whatever work is there, everything, while we do, we must consider it to be an offering to the Lord. He says, he can stay in the house. Such a householder, if his whole mind, whole activity, his thoughts, his speech, his activities, his interaction with people, behavior with others, whatever he does, he finds me and me alone. And keeping always me in my thought, he does all his duties, then he can remain in the household. Otherwise, he should go to a forest. When the son is born and the son has become a little old, either he should take to Brahmaprastha or he should take to sannyasa. This is what our Bhagavatam is saying. Nobody does it. Everybody wants to remain in the house as long as possible. After the children are born, then they look forward to the arrival of grandchildren, then getting attached to them, having anxiety for them. So their own bondage, they make themselves. They make themselves. Just like a spider, it creates its own net around it. Similarly, the householders, they live kutumba poshaya for the sake of the family, and they become swakutumba ramaha. They rejoice and delight only in the family. A little bit of thought about spirituality or God, a little time of the day may be there, but mostly it is so. Now, for a householder who learns to what? Think about God in everything that he does. Everything that he does. In Bhagavatam, Narada is telling Yudhishthira that, oh, the Yudhishthira, I'll tell you about the householder. What is the householder? What should be his way of life? And what is the way of life? The highest duty of man is to realize oneself, realize God. And that can happen when you grow devotion. Devotion to God, devotion to Atma, devotion to know yourself. So, Narada is telling Yudhishthira one day that Yudhishthira has asked him a question, and Narada is giving a reply saying, I will tell you what is the way of life of a householder, so that remaining in the house, how he can become slowly purified, slowly he can progress towards knowing himself. So he says, Narada is telling, Griheshvavasthito rajan kriyah kurvan grihochitah Vasudevarpanam sakshat upasita mahamunin. There are few slokas, I will chant all of them and then come one by one. Griheshvavasthito rajan kriyah kurvan grihochitah. This is in the 7th skandha, 14th chapter. Griheshvavasthito rajan kriyah kurvan grihochitah Vasudevarpanam sakshat upasita mahamunin Shrinvan bhagavato bhikshnam avatara kathamritam Shraddhadhano yatha kalam upashanta janavritah Satsangachanakai sangam atmajayatmajadishu vimuchyen mutyamaneshu swayam swapnavaduthitaha Shrinvan bhagavato bhikshnam avatara kathamritam Shraddhadhano yatha kalam upashanta janavritah Satsangachanakai sangam atmajayatmajadishu vimuchyen mutyamaneshu swayam swapnavaduthitaha Yavadarthamupasino dehe gehe cha panditah virakto raktavattatra Nirloke naratamyased Jnatayah pitarau putra bhratara suhridopare Yadvadanti yadichanti chanumodeta nirmamaha. So he says that Griheshvavasthito rajan kriyah kurvan grihochitaha. that householder who remains in the house and aspiring to become more and more devotional, more and more spiritual, he should remain in the household with this kind of attitude. What is that? Griheshvavasthito rajan kriyaha kurvan grihochitaha. O Rajan, O King, griheshu avasthitaha. This householder staying at home, grihochitaha kriya kurvan, he'll have to do a lot of work. Grihochitaha, that is, whatever is prescribed for the householders, the various activities which our Vedas prescribe for the householders, he should do that. In looking after his family and even earning money, possessing wealth and property, in doing this, whatever he does, it should be such which has been prescribed by our scriptures. So, grihochitaha kriya kurvan, sakshat vasudeva arpanam. He should perform this as the direct offering to Vasudeva, Srihari. And also, he should attend to spiritually illumined personages. He should attend to, that is, he should serve the saintly people, the Mahatmas. Mahamunin upasita. He should also serve them. Now, yathochita means yatha vihitaha. Activities which are prescribed to be done. Not such activities which are told for or forbidden in our Shastras. What has been for the householders, what are the activities one should do? Yajna, dana and tapas. This should be done. No, I am not just now going into yajna, dana and tapas. We can do it sometime later. Yajna, dana and tapas, why those should be done? In Bhagavad Gita, Sri Krishna says that yajno danam tapaschaiva pavanani manishinam. If we do these, then these are very, very purifying. It will purify human beings. So they should be done. So this, whatever work, now we come to, this sloka is saying, see, be very, very attentive. What does it say? Yathochitaha karma kriyaha. That is, whatever are good karmas, you should do it. Naturally, we should do the sattvika karmas. And these are yajna, dana and tapas. What that should be done. And Vasudeva arpanam. Vasudeva arpanam. You are doing. So, our scriptures are telling us that we should do karma. It's not that we should simply sit and meditate or completely always do worship. No. We have to do work in our household. Let us do. But those should be done with an attitude of what? Vasudeva arpanam. That is as an offering to Vasudeva, the Lord, the Supreme God, Brahman, whatever you say. And so, in Bhagavad Gita also, Krishna is telling Arjuna, Yat karoshi yadashnasi yadjuhosi dadasi yat tapasyasi kaunteya tat kurushva madarpanam. You know all these. I'm sure you know. So he says that whatever Krishna is telling Arjuna, oh Arjuna, whatever you do, whatever you eat, whatever sacrifice you do or oblation you give, whatever dana you make, whatever austerities you perform, everything you do but with a feeling of what? Madarpanam. Here it is Vasudeva Arpanam. Here it is Madarpanam. What is that Mat? The Supreme. What is the Mat? Here Krishna, who has completely united with the I or the Brahman or the Self. That is, we should do all our work, whatever it is, as an offering to the Supreme, the Brahman. Now what is that? I think we have discussed it earlier also in great, great detail. But the thing is that we forget. We don't remember. What is it? What is called arpana? We may say that, oh God, I am offering everything to you. Everything I offer. We do puja and we offer so many things. We say that we have offered. What does it mean really? Does it mean anything? By saying this or feeling this, does anything change in our attitude? But in our day-to-day life, here what Krishna is telling, here actually Narada is telling Yudhishthira, in this text, what is being told? You are in the household, doesn't matter. You have to take up many responsibilities and duties, doesn't matter. You have to bring up your children, doesn't matter. You have to earn money and look after many things, doesn't matter at all. But, my dear man, please remember that you have to do everything remembering me, the Supreme. And this remembrance, this offering has to be ceaseless, wholesome, complete, total, full offering. Thinking what? How can it become an offering? Thinking what? Thinking that God is everywhere, in everything, at every moment. He is the one. There is nothing else. Everything is His manifestation. This truth has to be remembered. Not only remembered, one has to accept the truth, one has to get established in the truth, so that we do not fall from this truth at all, anytime. Whatever we do, see God everywhere. See God everywhere, in everything. Every sight, every sound, every smell, every touch, every taste. It should reveal the Supreme. It should reveal God. Is it happening with us? No. No, we are far away. Far away. What is offering? When we take food, we feel it is an offering. I remember Him. When we see something, I remember Him. Whether what I see is good or bad, something I like, I dislike, I remember Him. I smell something, I touch something, I hear something. In everything I associate God. In everything I remember God. In everything I feel that there is God and nothing other than God. So that feel the divine presence in all these, everywhere. The divine presence should be felt. And the divine presence should be felt in the thoughts, in the feelings, in the emotions, conflicts, ignorance, delusion, in everything. Everything we cannot miss God. Then it will be divinizing everything. Divinizing everything. So the householder is being told, what is the way of life of a householder? Nothing much. You don't have to renounce and go to the forest. You don't have to renounce and go to an ashram. You don't have to do anything. Remain in your house. But turn your attitude like this. Turn your attitude. Maybe slowly, but try you must. So it says that constantly remember this, that God being everywhere, He is everywhere, He is in everything, He is at every moment, and that you belong to Him. I belong to God. I am God's and God is mine. I have no ownership. Whatever I do with my limbs, my senses, sense organs, whatever they look at and perceive, my mind, whatever it thinks, my intelligence, whatever it decides, everything is given by God. It has come from God. So I have no ownership. I have no ownership. Thinking that when we are able to offer things, it becomes an arpana. Otherwise, it remains ours, and with our lips and mouth we say that I have offered. It will never become an arpana, it will never become an offering unless God is smeared into that. God must get smeared. So, through all the activities, we should remain interwoven with the Supreme in everything. So, whatever needs to be done, a householder should do. Whatever needs to be done. Grihochita, not with desire, not with possessiveness, not with ego. Do things without this. That much which has to be done. You know, for householders, it is there in this chapter also. As you read further, you will find. It says that do not earn and save more than what you need. Distribute it to others. Look after your servants and people around you with that much love, fondness and responsibility as you do for your own children. Even the animals that are there in your house or nearby, every day give food to them, thinking they are your children. So what are these instructions given to householders? For what? Not to cling to one's own family, but expand. Think that you have a duty towards everybody. Make your vision universal, not self-centered, not only your own family-centered. Expand, expand, expand. Why? Expansion is the infinite, the Supreme Self, Brahman. So do whatever is necessary, but all actions should be mentally offered to the Supreme. Who is the Supreme? To the Supreme belongs the whole creation. And the Supreme activates every action of it, every speck of it. Yata pravrittir bhutanam yena sarvamidam tatam swakarmana tamabhyarchya siddhim bindanti manavaha. Yata pravrittir bhutanam, who actually activates all our actions, all our activities. Yena sarvamidam tatam, that which permeates this whole creation. Swakarmana tamabhyarchya, with our actions, worship Him. Then you will get siddhi, fulfillment. And if you can think like this, what great sublimity, great expansion of the mind and delight we will get. So, arpana is what? Did you get it? Arpana, see, when we want to offer something, we do want to offer. When we want to offer to God, after having tread this spiritual path, we know that our actions are to be offered, our thoughts are to be offered. We would very much like to do that. Now, think always, what is this arpana? When we know that we will never forget this truth, we remain in this truth, established in this truth, that He alone is, then that becomes arpana. When remaining in that truth we offer, that is, when we take food, when we give something, when we do some sacrifice, yat karoshi, yadashnasi, yat juhosi, dadasi, yat tapasyasi, whatever we do, and through all the sense organs, whatever we do, we remember Him. Remember Him. He is never away from us. Then it becomes an arpan. And how does it become arpan also? Because at that time, how does it become an offering, an arpana? Because when we are remembering that everything is God's, everything belongs to God, nothing is mine, nothing belongs to me, we also feel that only because He has given me these to enjoy as my possessions, I have nothing to do. That is why I am giving it back to Him. If I am doing a puja with some articles, it is by the flowers that He has given, the incense stick, which has also come from the Panchabhutas. Everything that we get, everything that we use for doing our worship, everything is given from this Creator. So, consider all the objects. See, when there is an activity, it may be an activity which we are doing, the worldly activity, to be done in the family, or maybe it might be a worship of activity of worship. Whatever activity we do, we as a person do. We miss our body, which has our limbs, our senses, our mind, our life force, our intelligence and all that. Then the activities will be done with using some materials, those. Then there is the act of activity, the kriya, that, and I myself. All these things, they also belong to God. Everything belongs to God. Now, when we are thinking like this, again and again I tell, that I am doing some action, maybe I am covering a book. With whatever material I am covering a book. And I write my name with a pen. So I am doing that work. I have taken a brown paper maybe, I have taken a pen. So those are the items with which I am doing a work, a simple example. And the act of covering. And who is covering? The I feeling that I am covering. All these things are manifestations of the same source, the Supreme, Brahman, God. So while doing any action, say we are cooking, that is why it is said that when we cook, we should remember God and cook, not for feeding our children or husband or parents, not for the taste of it. We should think of God, that I am preparing the food for Him. Similarly for any other work. So when this thought is there, strongly in one, and the action is done, then it becomes an offering. Maybe, my dear children, maybe we have not yet reached that supreme state of offering, but every day we can offer now. Once this is clear, this knowledge is there, what is offering, how we must, and the offering, and even the thought, even this thought, how it should be developed, we can start doing it. This thought, this feeling of offering, it can be taken ahead. It will become more and more deep, more and more intense, if we constantly bring Viveka and Vairagya in our mind. That is, we are introspective. We constantly see that there is no desire, there is no possessiveness, there is no ego in us. So, constantly remove them and work. In Bhagavad Gita it says, Shri Krishna has been saying, Mai sarvani karmani sanyasya adhyatma chetasa nirashir nirmamo bhutva yudhyasva vigatajvaraha. So, this is what we were saying, that Vasudeva arpanam, and I was discussing what is this arpana, in which arpana means you must, in every activity, whether it is a bodily activity, mental activity, and activity of the intelligence, in every activity, every item with which we are doing the action, we must remember God. We must remember that I do not own anything. It has come from God. And Shri Krishna is telling Arjuna further. What does he say? He says, Arjuna, Mai sarvani karmani sanyasya adhyatma chetasa nirashir nirmamo bhutva yudhyasva vigatajvaraha. Very, very apt and relevant for householders. The householders are in their houses, in bringing up and looking after the family. So many kinds of difficulties are there. How will he constantly remember God? He wants to offer everything. He is not able to. What is to be practiced then? How will he be able to? Just by chanting arpana, I want to do offering, it will not happen. So Krishna is telling further. Krishna has told Arjuna, it applies to all of us. It says, Mai sarvani karmani sanyasya adhyatma chetasa nirashihi nirmamo bhutva yudhyasva vigatajvaraha. O Arjuna, for Arjuna it was what? Fight. He did not want to fight. He was finding it very difficult. He was having fear, sadness, sorrow and whatnot. So, Krishna is saying, your duty now is to fight. Fight this dharma yuddha. That is your duty. But you have to do that. You will be able to do that if you have your attitude in this manner. And this is applicable to all householders, not the battlefield where actual arms and ammunitions are there. But in the household, so many problems come. I think I don't explain, give examples. Problems of the mind, problems of the body, problems of the intelligence, problem with children, problem between husband and wife, between children and parents, with property, qualifications, so many things. So he says, Mai sarvani karmani sanyasya adhyatma chetasa. So he says that you offer all your work unto me. And with what attitude? Sanyasya, adhyatma chetasa sanyasya. All the karmani, all the work you offer to me, having an adhyatma cheta. That is having a mind which is adhyatma, which is spiritual. What is that mind? Having Viveka and Vairagya. Shamadamadi Shatka Sampatti. Moksha. So, a mind which is having enlightened intelligence, a mind which has Viveka, Vairagya, a mind which has been trained to have Samabhava, mind and intelligence which has been purified by the knowledge of the self, that I am not the body, I am the self. With that kind of a mind, you offer all activities to me. Do not think that the activities belong to you. Think that it belongs to me. And you are doing it on my behalf. And also do all the work without any desire. Desire for what? Desire for what you have not got. You want to possess. Desire for that. Without having mamata. That is, whatever you are already having, you have possessed already. You wanted to possess, you have possessed. Now, what is further? You cling to that. No. Do not have clinging to the things which you possess. And also, that is, nirashihi. Do not have any desire. Nirmamaha. This do not have mamata. Neither you should possess for, neither you should have desire for things which are not possessed by you, you want to possess, nor you should have mamata for the things you have already possessed, and you should be vigata jvaraha. What is that? That is, you should not be affected or afflicted by anxiety about what you have possessed, or fear about losing what you are possessing. Whether you will have success and failure, whether you like or dislike, do not get affected by anything. So Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Mai sarvani karmani sanyasyadhyatma chetasa nirashir nirmamo bhutva yudhyasva vigata jvaraha. Why did I say this? I feel it has got a connection. There, in that shloka, in the Bhagavatam, Vasudevarpanam, it's written. Vasudevarpanam. So Vasudevarpanam, meaning what? That arpana we have understood. For that arpana, the offering to be perfect, to become true. I think this shloka gives us a great insight that constantly we must use our Viveka and Vairagya, do vichara, and try to remember and thinking that nothing belongs to me. That nothing belongs to me, that everything belongs to the Supreme. How do I know? I must reflect upon this truth. I must do vichara on this truth. And whatever is the condition of my day-to-day life, in every moment, whatever I face, whether my mind faces thoughts, mind faces agitations, disturbances, or my body in various activities, or the intelligence, in everywhere I must introspect and find out that I am nobody. I can do nothing actually. I've been given some things to do, and I can at most try to do it perfectly, in all excellence. Remembering that actual doer is He. Remembering that I am not the doer. Remembering that it is because He propels that I do. And this remembrance will be easy, facile. It will become our own system if we use our vichara and remain nirashihi, that is, without desire. Do not desire for what you do not possess. What is Krishna telling Uddhava? That, O Uddhava, do not try to acquire such things which is not necessary. Only earn and preserve only that much which is necessary for your living, not more than that. If you have more, then distribute. Give it away. Help others. Nirashihi. That is, what is common man's attitude? We have something, we want more. One thing I have wished to have, I got it. After some time, again there is a wish. So desire. So nirashihi and nirmamaha. Okay, you have some things, but you please try to become mamata, without mamata, nirmamaha, and become vigata jvaraha. Do not be afflicted and affected when you get thing which you do not want. Do not get affected when you have such situations in life which you did not want, or even if you had something which you wanted and you have had it, do not be affected by the anxiety and worry that I will lose it. So vigata jvaraha. This is what, all our scriptures, constantly it says this and only this. And also what? All the work that we should do, it should be done like a yajna. Yajnathat karmanonyatra lokoyam karma bandhanaha tadartham karma kaunteya mukta sangas samachara. These are all related. What are we discussing actually? A householder, how he should live in his house. Why this question at all? That how he should live? The question comes because he finds that he is always bound. He is bound by his family, his relatives, his possessions, his wealth, property, all the acquisitions, his qualifications, his position, prestige and all that. He is bound. So he wants to know how I can be free. And he understands that because of this I-ness and mine-ness, this is coming. So Krishna is talking to Uddhava because Uddhava has asked the question that I understand that it is because of the I-ness and mine-ness that I am so much bound. I have got so much of attachment to my family and relatives and my possessions. So please tell me. So Uddhava is being advised. And these are so related. So the householder is asked to have certain attitude, and regarding activity, it is saying that please offer it to Vasudeva. And how do we offer? What is this offering? What does offering mean? We discussed. Now how it is to be offered? The offering is like a yajna. What is a yajna? Yajna is when we do not have any clinging to what we are doing. When we are doing any activity, It will become a yajna when we have no clinging to it. It is a complete dedication to the Supreme, and it is an act for the sake of the Supreme. Without Sangha, without clinging. We have to do it, do with excellence. So, yajnarthat karmanonyatra lokoyam karma bandhanaha. Only when with an attitude of yajna, one does actions, all actions. It does not bind. Otherwise, all worldly activities will bind you if you do not have this attitude. Tadartham karma kaunteya mukta sangas samachara. So, O Kaunteya, O Arjuna, Krishna is telling him, my dear Arjuna, so whatever you do it beautifully. Samachara, do it excellently, perfectly, but mukta sangaha, without delusional clinging. Without delusional clinging. And that is what in Bhagavatam also it is being said, Kutumbeshu na sajjeta. Don't get attached. Don't get attached. So don't get attached. Do not have delusional clinging. It is coming again and again in all our scriptures. My dear children, there are very high philosophy about the self, about Brahman, about the qualities, about how one can reach there, the various states. All the Mahatmas, the saintly people, they have reached there. We listen. But we have to tread this path. We cannot go there even though we understand the supreme knowledge. We cannot just go there. We have to pursue all these things. Be nirashihi nirmamaha. Vihaya kaman yas sarvan pumams charati nisprihaha nirmamo nirahankaraha sashanti madhigacchati. So, no desire. Vihaya kaman and nirmamaha nirahankaraha. Same thing. You read anywhere. So the pursuit, when we take to a pursuit, one is that if you want to read and gain knowledge, that is different. If you want to pursue and become, you have to do this. Pursue this. Each and every thought, each and every speech, every behavior, every interaction, every activity, be introspective and see whether you are nirmamaha, that is without mamata, mindness, nirahankaraha, whether you are egoless, nirashihi, whether you are having no desire, and go forward. If we have, see, it is just like any other knowledge. In the schools and colleges, we have studied. We will do some mathematics. Suppose I have not been able to solve the problem, a mathematical problem. I'll try to see where is the wrong and rectify it, correct it, and next day I'll be able to do similar sums. It's like this. Every day's behavior, every moment's behavior, whether it is in the mind, in the body, intelligence, everywhere, just be watchful, alert, and see where the correction is necessary, correct it. That is how we should go forward. So, this is what we should do. Let me see. So the next sloka. In the next sloka, in Srimad Bhagavatam, Narada is telling Yudhishthira. He said that First he said, today I took up this one, that all the work that is necessary to run a family, please do. But let it be Vasudeva arpanam. Also, Upasita Mahamunin. Also, serve the holy people, the saintly people, the Mahatmas. You know, each word, so many things can be said. I think we'll come to this Upasita Mahamunin, what our texts have said. Who is a holy man? What does worshipping a holy man mean? What we should do? How it should be a part of our life of a householder. Shrinvan Bhagavato Bhikshnam Avatara Kathamritam Shraddhano Yatha Kalam Upashanta Janavritaha Satsangachanakai Sangam Atmajayatmajadishu Vimanchen Mutyamaneshu Swayam Swapnavaduthitaha. So, stage by stage, Bhagavatam is telling us. Yudhishthira had asked the householder way of life. Narada is telling him. Same thing Krishna has told Uddhava in the 11th skandha. So here, Yudhishthira is being told by Narada. Vasudeva arpanam. How do we do? How will it become easy for us? That also he says. He says, to be able to do, O Yudhishthira, a householder should do these things. What are those? Shrinvan Bhagavato Bhikshnam Avatara Kathamritam. Says, let a householder do all his duties and responsibilities, but after attending to all the duties, he should be in the association of saintly people, Mahatmas, those upashantam, whose mind is peaceful. Naturally, if we want to get peace, we must go to a peaceful person. If we go to a disturbed person, agitated person, their agitation and disturbance will affect our mind. So we should go in the association of such people, such saintly people, such Mahatmas, whose mind is at peace and who radiate peace. So, Yatha kalam swayam upashanta janavritaha shraddhanaha. And when he goes in these associations, he should have full faith and shraddha. With lot of devotion, love to listen to such people. He must be devoted, and with full faith and shraddha he should go there. Abhikshnam Bhagavataha Avatara Kathamritam Shrinvan. And going there, what will he get? A saintly person or a Mahatma, he will be talking about God or Brahman, about the highest philosophy which man must pursue and must realize. He will be talking about that. So Abhikshnam, always he should listen to all those. That is, a householder should not only do activities regarding the family. He should finish his activities which are necessary for the family, and very regularly he must be in the association of Mahatmas or saintly people who are talking about God or Brahman, and he should be listening to them. Satsangat, with such satsanga, shanakaihi, gradually, swapnavat utthitaha, muchyamaneshu Atmajaya Atmajadishu Sangamam Vimuchyet. When we go to the Satsanga, what will happen? Just like, see, this is today I think for few sessions I am constantly talking about what? We are discussing what? How to get out of this clinging with family and whatever we like, not only family actually, whatever we are clinging to. We may be clinging to our very ideas, our viewpoints, our likings, strong dislikes we have. That is, we cling to them. We are not able to leave them. And in the hands of these, whenever something else comes and we have to face, we are absolutely agitated or disturbed or afflicted. So, in the satsanga, what will happen? Constantly we will be hearing how to cut asunder the bondages that we feel bound by. We have shackles of the mind, we are bound, we don't feel free. Always anxious, always worried, always fearful, always fear of losing something. Even if everything is okay, there is a fear that this nice state may not remain. That fear is there at the back. What will happen? What will happen? So, in the satsanga, constantly hearing this, when we start liking this, the knowledge about the free Atma, the free Brahman, knowledge about that I am imperishable, I am changeless, I am absolutely fearless, that knowledge, the I-ness goes. And as the I-ness goes, mindness goes. And when I-ness and mindness is not there, just like as in the dream, when we get out of the dream, there is no I-ness and mindness. So, while we are awake by the satsanga, listening and using the Viveka and Vairagya, introspecting and trying to apply this to oneself, the I-ness and the mindness goes off. Then there is no clinging will remain. No fear will be there. Not only that, we know that we'll find the same self everywhere. Who will fear whom? Who will dislike whom? Who will be jealous of whom? Who will be worried of whom? So the knot of the heart, the shackle of the heart will be broken, dissolved, sublimated. Shrinvan bhagavato bhikshnam avatar kathamritam shraddadhano yatha kalam upashanta janavritah satsangacchanakai sangam atmajayatmajadishu vimunchen mutyamaneshu swayam swapnavaduttitah. See, mutyamaneshu Atmajaya Atmajadishu Sangamam Vimuchyet. So by satsanga what happens? Mutyamaneshu. That is Atmajaya Atmajadishu. One's body, one's wife, and Atmajadishu, with children, etc., etc. All these are Mutyamaneshu. They are going to fall anyway. Perishables. So, Sangamam, the attachment towards them, vimuchyet. It will go. It has to go. One will remove the attachment. So that is why the satsanga is so very important. Either you physically go for a satsanga to a holy person, a Mahatma, or you listen to read books or listen or be in the association of like-minded people and discuss. Satsanga is must. Only then, this I-ness and mine-ness, that is the muchyamaneshu, atmajaya atmajadishu, the perishable, who are perishable, all family, all possession, everything is perishable. Our clinging to them will fall off only by that, by listening. And listening, not only listening, see, you should connect each and every shloka to each other. Not only listening, by listening nothing will happen. Unless you also practice and pursue to become nirashihi, nirmamaha, and do not have any sangha. Do your activities without sangha, without clinging. All these things together must come, and then only you will be. See, a householder should not think that, oh, I am in the house, how will I do my spiritual practices? I am bound by so many things. And he actually, see, if he has this kind of feeling that I must listen and go and serve the saintly people, he is very, very noble. Very noble. So a householder must know that what is the value of satsanga. He should look for such satsanga and should constantly, after the day's work, every day, immerse himself in satsanga and carry on. So, very beautiful slokas are there in Bhagavatam. I will read them and stop them, give them meaning. And next day we will discuss them. Adhana apite dhanyaha sadhavo grihamedhinaha yad griha hyarhavaryam butrina bhumeshwaravaraha. It says, grihamedhinaha. What is a grihamedhinaha? One who remains in the house and who is attached to the family. He is called a grihamedhi, grihamedhinaha. So householder may be not very rich. He doesn't have much of money, but he must be considered rich in merit, and highly he should be glorified if he has in his house what he has? All items to welcome and receive a saintly person. That is, he and his family members, even the servants, they are ready to receive a holy person. With what? With one asan, water for washing his feet, some flowers and durva grass to be offered at the feet, giving him some gift. Even though he doesn't have much of money, if he can have these simple things and the readiness to do it, love to do it, he is a rich person. Not the one actually who is rich but doesn't do all these things. Vyalalaya drumavaite pyatirikta khila Vyalalaya drumavaite apirikta khila sampadaha yad grihas tirthapadiya padatirtha vivarjitaha. This Bhagavatam, it says very beautiful slokas. See what kind of comparison it gives. It says, on the contrary, when a person is very rich, it's a very prosperous home, but he has no such readiness, He has no mind, no attitude to welcome and receive a holy person, a Mahatma, wash his feet, and in whose house no such arrangement is there. His house is just like a tree inhabited by serpents. His house is not a house. It is a house, it is a hole where, in the tree where serpents live. It is like that. Okay, I will stop there. I'll take these two and then two more are there, very beautiful slokas. Today I'll stop here only. My dear children, these are to be very deeply read, understood, practiced. When I am going through this, I was thinking that, I'm thinking of my days in the house and my days of sadhana. What did I do? Did I read all these things at that time? And how was my, path? How did I walk forward? One thing only I can tell, that there was always a feeling that how to constantly think of God. Constantly think of God. In everything. I would fail. I will not succeed. I will remember many other things than God. But this very strong yearning that in everything I should feel God. I should always feel the presence of God inside me and outside me. In every moment, every breath, every blood flow, in every pore of my body. That feeling somehow was there. Okay. Sampurnam Jagadeva Nandanavanam Sarvepi Kalpadrumaha Gangam Vari Samasta Vari Nibaha Punyas Samasta Kriyaha Vacha Prakrita Samskrita Shruti Shiro Varanasi Medini Sarvavasthitirasya Vastu Vishaya Drishte Parabrahmani Sarvavasthitirasya Vastu Vishaya Drishte Parabrahmani. Jai Guru, Jai Guru, Jai Guru.